Hello, my name is Zachary Simpson. I'm going to be talking about the game Earthsplorer. So, this game came to me because I'm actually a zoology major. I've been interested in the natural world, science, and animals for as long as I can remember. I've also been interested in video games for as long as I can remember. So, with that being said, I decided to blend the two. So if I was a child and they had a game like this, I would have loved it. So my goal is to maybe reach out to the children similar to me, and see how they react to it. So this game is an adventure game. It's also like a type of a simulator. Has some RPG elements as well, but I didn't really want to title it like the genre as an RPG just because there's really no equipping of like different items, and there's no like real side quests and just a lot of things that RPGs have. There's no battles or actions. I mean, I know that's not required for an RPG, but I just felt like it didn't really fit into that description. This game is going to be this game was very, very strongly influenced by Nintendo games. Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Earthbound, which is an RPG, even some Chrono Trigger, games like that. And so because of that, I would prefer to make it on Nintendo Switch and the PC. I don't know how to convert the two. Maybe just Switch. Just because Switch has so many, vibrating things and movements. Okay, but yeah, we'll see. So I'm aiming this for like probably girls, mostly, because I think boys at that age, most boys tend to think they're too cool for maybe animals. I think they're too cool for like a game where you're running around being happy and rescuing people. So I think it's mostly aimed towards girls, like the same type of people that play like Pokemon. They're like ages 8 through 12. Same type of people that play like Kirby and stuff. And these, I think it'd be good for people of that age. I think girls are more empathetic and would enjoy a game like this. And plus, the protagonist is a female, and so is the sidekick, which is actually the protagonist's mother. So the game is based around their relationship and how they go. So I'll get to that in a minute. So the game's using the world, Earth is its thing. Since it's modeled after most Nintendo games, I want the characters to be Japanese. I want them to be based in Japan. If you can't tell, I like Japanese culture. I got a Sailor Moon poster back there, but that's actually my wife's. Well, it's based in Japan, and the mother is a naturalist, conservationist, and the daughter wants to be. But the daughter wants to be it because she thinks that's what the mother wants to do, wants to follow in her footsteps. But as the game progresses and the storyline goes, as the development goes, it ends up with the daughter creating a real relationship with her mother and respecting her on a different level. And ultimately, the daughter still wants to follow in her footsteps, but more because she wants to, and she understands that it's about what you want and what you love, not what other people want you to do. So it'll have a good set of morals. I think it'll have a good impact for people like maybe they don't have super strong relationships with their parents, because a lot of preteens kind of distance themselves. So I think it could be good, a good influence, good societal effects as far as that's concerned. So the game's gonna be single player only, no multiplayer attributes to it. It's gonna be filmed or filmed. It's going to be, the view is going to be a lot like Pokemon. It's going to be from the isometric view and like from 2.5D, walking through the city, following the character around. As the character moves on Earth, it just stays in one setting and moves. So what do we got here? So some of the rules and stuff, like, I mean, there's not really many rules. There's more objectives, which are just strict to each mission. You know, the UI in this game is pretty intricate. Several different screens. You're gonna have a map at your top right corner that you're always using. So this map you follow, and so essentially you're starting in Japan, and I think the first country I want to have is going to be the United States. So they're going to introduce you to all your UI right then. You're going to be introduced to your map and your bag. Your mother's going to tell you these things. Your mother's going to act as your narrator and your trainer in the game. And you'll be trained in that aspect. So as you go, your mother will come to you and talk to you and tell you. The dialogue will pop up in little things like up here in the corner, kind of like the video game Celeste. And they'll have little, you know, cartoon avatars with them. And that's kind of how the talking will go. The sound will be like like Okami or Celeste. And I think that's easy to do because, you know, you don't have to hire voice actors really. So that'll kind of be how the dialogue goes. So as they go through this country, what will happen is they'll see different, the mother will say, hey, so essentially the whole reason they're going on this trip is because the mom is showing the daughter the ropes of how her job is, the field, and the daughter is interested, and the daughter's like off for break, and she's an advanced student, so school isn't that important. Well, it's important, but it's not necessary. So the daughter takes the time to go on this trip with her mom around the world and just does what her mom does. And the mom goes to local universities and gets funding for these trips, and it teaches people how like the whole science world works, how the natural world works. So what they do is most of the game, the premise is going to be like animals, and they're going to be rescuing animals, tagging animals, catching and releasing, taking back to conservation societies and zoos and stuff. But then throughout the game, there's going to be other missions. There's going to be side missions, essentially, and they'll ping up on the map. And these pings you can choose to go to, or you don't have to, but they're essentially natural disaster missions. And they could be anything like an oil spill, where your character will not control a boat, or the player will control a boat, and you'll drive out and rally up animals and help with the oil spill. There'll be forest fire missions, where you'll help firefighters, you'll help evacuate people and things like that, or evacuation for tornadoes and hurricanes. There will be flood missions where you'll be in a helicopter and you'll rescue people. So it kind of just tells about the Earth. So I guess the main premise of the entire game is essentially just humans' impact on Earth. What we're doing. I mean, I know it's not our doing for like earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes, but in that aspect, it just helps people be prepared and know that this happens and that it's a thing that we can't prevent, but there's ways that we can, you know, prepare for it. And as far as the animals, so, you know, the game will talk about global warming, the ice caps, and it'll touch upon recycling and maybe vegetarians and things like that, commercial farming, and it's very, very educational in that aspect. But see, even though it's an educational game, it's disguised in a way of like, it's disguised as a game that's got this RPG adventure type of element to it. So people won't get bored and know that they're playing an educational game. They'll just be educated, and as they're playing, they're like, oh wow, that's interesting. So as the game progresses, you do enough missions in North America, or maybe just the US and Canada, then you go down Central America, climate changes, people change, cultures change, and so when you're in these new cultures, you can go to shops and buy things. You can buy outfits for your character. They don't really give you benefits or anything, but it's how you can helps the player observe the culture, and it helps the character fit in better. The music will also follow these different cultures throughout the game, so depending on where you are in the world, the music will resemble that place and so forth. And then essentially travel to each continent and region of the world, talk about plate tectonics, things like that. And there's 12 regions, so you'll go through each region of the world until you end up back home in Japan. Now during all this traveling, there's going to be some serious things happening that follows the storyline. So the storyline is followed by specific missions, and these missions are the ones that progress the game that eventually end up as the game being over. But there's several other storylines, like a percentage-based game, like Grand Theft Auto, just in that aspect. Nothing else. That you follow the main missions, you beat the game. But there's extra missions. That, I guess, in that aspect is like RPG. And then there's side missions that you can do to 100% the game, which are a lot more difficult for people that want more of a challenge, but not exceptionally challenging, like Celeste or something. Okay, so there's that, and then the storyline follows this, and then once these missions are done, you can go back and finish more. I kind of want the game to end when it's over. I don't want there to be like a last save before the end of the game, then go back to the last save. I've never liked that in games. I want people to take away the realism of the game and the seriousness. And there will be serious moments in the game as far as the rating. So it's rated E10, and the reason is because I want missions like hurricanes and stuff, but I also want like poaching missions where there's people that are poaching animals, and like you're in a Jeep trying to get to a certain place in time, and maybe the poachers are in front of you a few miles, and if you don't get there in time, you come up and there's a dead elephant. And that's because, poachers, and it's a real thing that happens, and I want people to know that. So, with that being said, that's kind of like the more racy things. But overall, I'm very excited for this game. I think it's good. I think it's fresh and unique. I don't think there's any other game like this out there, and I'm very excited to share it with everyone. And I think it would, if this game were to be funded and created, I honestly think it would be a good game and make a lot of people interested in the natural world. A lot of people more so aware of what we do, and a lot of people just interested in the storyline, maybe even benefit them with their relationships with their peers. And just overall, I think it would entertain them, and they'd remember it for years to come. Thank you.